Hi, welcome to episode 184 of the Passionate Spinner podcast. My name is Tracy, and I'm here to share all of the things that I recently made with you and that I'm working on right now. So if you've never been here, this is a video podcast about creating things with strings. I'm a textile person, I knit, I spin, I crochet, I do all the things. So yeah, I have a lot of things to share. Since my last podcast, it's been like 4 weeks, maybe 6. But I had a very, very productive time since then. So I have a lot of things to share. And I'm just going to start. I have a pile here. I'm going to work my way down. So the first thing I am going to share with you is a pair of slippers. And this is also a bit of a preview because this pattern will release today. So here they are. This is a slipper. This is the smallest size for a child-sized foot. And these slippers are knit with 3 strands of fingering weight yarn, and I use leftovers for this pair. So I will put these in my shop. But yeah, this is my pattern. The pattern is called Toasty Toes, and it's slippers. They're super warm. They're really nice, and I will release the pattern later today. So first thing, finished, Toasty Toes. It's fingering weight yarn held triple, and like I said, mine is leftovers, so I don't know what it was. The other 2 things are patterns that I recently released. I would say within the last 2 weeks, I think 1 each week. So the first one is this one here. It is called Snowflower Headband. It is colorwork, as you can see. And it has 3 colors in each row throughout. And the other one is called Retro Vibes, and it is another colorwork headband, but only with 2 colors per row. It's 3 colors in total, but only 2 in one row, which makes this easier to knit than this one. But I'm really liking them, I'm quite proud of these. So the yarn is fingering weight for both of them. And for this, you need 20 gram minis. For this, you need 25 gram minis. And you can make beautiful headbands out of them. So yeah, these have been released in the last 2 weeks. Now, a little preview of something that will come maybe at the end of the year. I'm not sure yet if I can make it happen by the end of the year, but it's another pattern that I'm working on right now. And this is one of my old patterns that I am reworking and redoing and, making better. So this is the Faewis shawl. This has been washed and blocked, but it's also been worn by many people. And I have not yet woven in the ends. So, just ignore that. But yeah, this is the Faewis shawl. I used Fischerwolle Madeira for this one. I do not have the tag, but it's a beautiful yarn. I will talk more about the yarn that I used in the introduction video for the pattern once that comes around. But yeah, so this pattern, if everything works the way I want it to, will be any yarn, any gauge, any size pattern. So this was sample number 1, knit on 5mm needles out of a worsted weight yarn. And this one here is sample number 2 that I finished like a week or so ago. And this was knit on 8mm needles with a chunky weight yarn. And it looks like this. I had 1 single skein with 150 grams. And that's the size that I got. So this is a pattern, like I said, that I'm working on. I will make 1 more sample. And then, there will be a tester call. I should have done it the other way around, right? Colorful on black would have been smarter. So yeah, this is it. My new shawl pattern, new old, because it's been a pattern before, but I'm gonna make it better. So I think that's all the things that I have finished for on my needles. I have 2 things that you've seen before and 2 other things that you technically have also seen before, but one thing after the other. Okay, next to me, I have this thing here. I bought this blocking board specifically for this project. So these are all of 25 squares that you need to make the Agnes vest, which is made out of granny squares. I washed and blocked them today, so they are still wet. And yes, I know I probably shouldn't stack 12 of them on top of each other to dry, but you know what? I didn't want to start 25 times. So these are the squares for the Agnes vest. That is a free pattern on a blog. That's all I know right now. But I wanted to share with you. I had 4 skeins of yarn for this, and that's how much I had left of my 4 skeins. So this is the middle and outside color for the 25th square, which means that I used this once more for the big parts. And so this is what I have left. Not a whole lot, but honestly, I did not think I could squeeze 25 squares out of only 4 50-gram skeins of cotton yarn. But I could. I was able to do it. This is leftovers now. And I might insert these leftovers around the neckline as half squares to make it shaped better, or at the underarm. More around here, I think. I'm not sure yet, but it's a possibility, and I have enough to make that happen, to, you know, because otherwise the neckline is a square like that. But I could we will find out. So these need to dry now. It's going to take a while, and then I need to weave in the ends. And there's many, many, many ends to weave in, and then I will join them using this color. So if I hold the other colors up again, you can see how this will look. Maybe. Come here. Okay. So these are the colors for the squares, and this is my joining color that I will then also use for all the ribbing. And this is Gründel Cotton Fun. And this one was a pack from Aldi, but I'm pretty sure it's the same yarn. So I'm going to say it's the same yarn. That's the first project I have actively on my needles. Now, the other thing I am keeping in this beautiful bag from Rosarios, it is the buttonhole sweater. Now, the buttonhole sweater is called Ilona sweater. It's on the Novita website, and it is free there in Norwegian and Finnish, maybe. I don't know. But I am knitting it from gonna have to check that. Okay, now I just wanted to show you. This is the sweater I'm working on. Of course, I'm not using the yarn, right, that the pattern calls for. The pattern calls for a Novita yarn. I used what I had in stash. And what I had in stash was Silda Hawthorne DK, I think it's called. Hawthorne Tweed. So this is the yarn I'm using. I'm not super happy with this yarn. It is a 50-50 wool acrylic blend. And sometimes a 50-50 blend just feels really nice and woolly. This one feels plasticky, and I'm not happy about it, but I bought it, so I'm going to use it now. I have a lot of things to in this project bag to share. So this here is the back piece. And I need to finish this skein and then knit 7 grams of another skein. And then the back will be finished. So this is it right now. There's no shaping to this sweater. So as it's a free pattern, I can talk about it. There's absolutely zero shaping. Nothing. The back is a rectangle and the front is a rectangle with a slit. That's it. So I am knitting this. The thing is, all of these holes are 1 row buttonholes. So yeah, it's a lot of work. But I keep knitting on it every evening while watching something. So that's the back piece. Then we have a front piece, or the front piece. It currently looks like this. And I have 2 finished sleeves. 1 and 2. Here they are, my 2 sleeves. So, you know, I'm getting there. This was the first things I did was the sleeves. And then I started what now is the front. And then to knit it parallel because, you know, I want to use up every single bit of the yarn. I started the back and then realized that it would be smarter to finish the back first. And I have 1 skein that will go in the front. You know, 7 grams of this need to go into the back and the rest will be for the front. So I need to finish the back so I can, for that slit that you do for the neckline, I can count down how many ridges I need for that. And then I can finish the front according to this. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm getting there. You know, I'm still not sick of it, which is surprising to be honest, because this is a garter stitch sweater with a million buttonholes in it, right? But I think that that is exactly why I'm not sick of it yet, because you do your rows of garter and whenever you feel like knit, boring, you'd have to do the buttonholes. And whenever that row is done, you're like, ugh, I hate those buttonholes. And then you can just knit. And then you have to do buttonholes again. So it kind of is, you know, whenever you're sick of one of the 2 things, you have to switch it up anyways. So, yeah. I mean, I'm surprisingly far along. I'm surprised myself, to be honest. But it's fun. It's really fun. Now, these are the things you've seen before. Now, the other 2 things. I felt and still feel a very strange feeling that I am very unfamiliar with, and that is finished stuff. I'm usually the person who starts all the things and eventually finishes stuff, but you know, I start stuff. Right now, I just don't want to start stuff. I only want to finish things, and it's strange. I am very unfamiliar with this feeling. So, but I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna roll with that feeling. Okay, now, I have one more thing that you've seen recently, and that is the Buddha dress. I thought about doing a separate video, but I mean, it would be 2 minutes long. But I'm gonna share with you. So I wanted to knit this dress out of another Buddha magazine. I have it here. This dress. I wanted to make this dress for my next birthday, which is in January. It is now November. So, few things about this dress. I'm gonna try to find better pictures on the inside so you can see. Okay, let's go with this picture here. The skirt is not attached at the waistline, but kind of at the hip bone. If I do that, I will look like a hippo in a tutu. Not the style I'm going for. So I will not do that. I also decided not to do a dress, but do separates. I'm going to do a skirt first, and then eventually I will knit the sweater. But this just would not work for my body at all. Not at all. So I have turned the dress into a skirt. So my birthday skirt. And I wanted to share with you when I last showed it. When I last showed it to you, I was at this little marker here, and I finished all of the white and I started the colorwork. I have done 3 rows of the colorwork, which isn't a lot, you know, but this is almost 700 stitches, so it actually is a lot. Yeah, so I think now that I converted it to a skirt, I might be able to wear it on my birthday. I would love to, but I am not going to stress myself. You know, I'm trying. I'm going to try to finish it, but I will not like obsess over it, right? It will be a skirt. It will be gorgeous. That's the important part. Now, the other 2 things. So, like I was saying before, I want to finish stuff. So what I did, I want to call it, I did some project bag roulette. I just grabbed a bag, and I mean, I kind of know what's in the bags, so I grabbed the bag and decided to finish what's inside. The first thing that I grabbed was this sweater here. It's another German knitting magazine pattern. I don't know what's going on here. I usually knit like normal people, all the patterns, you know, but somehow right now I'm knitting from magazines. Now this one here is from a Rebecca magazine, which is put out by GGH Yarns. And you cannot see anything, right? What it is a brioche hoodie, and they use mohair held double. I do not do that. I use 3 different lace weights held triple. So that's the first one. This is a cashmere silk blend. This one here is Rowan denim. It's a recycled yarn. And this here is called Harmony from Mochile. What was that name? I have absolutely no idea. I also do not have a label for it. But so I'm using these 3 held together. And in this one, there is a lot of green as well, but I knit up the green, just so you know. This is a color gradient. So this is the front piece. And I'm going to show you the back piece in a second because that one has been done already. So when I picked this back up sometime this week, I was around here. So I had done just this much. And I added that on top of it. This is a super drapey fabric, but the colors are always washing out. You know, as soon as I come closer, they wash out. So it looks a bit like this. And this is knit on a, what are you? A 5mm needle. That's a US 8. And back here, I have a finished back piece because I already finished the back piece. So here it is. Oh, that's the bottom. Wait, that's what this way around. So here's the back piece. As you can see from this length, I don't have a whole lot to go on the front piece now. So I'm also a bit short on yarn because I'm using stash yarn for most of the things that I want to do. And my decision was to knit the back and the front and the sleeves, and then figure out how much I have left for a hood. And if I have enough for a hood, I will do a hood. And if not, I will just do a collar and call it a day. So here's the back piece and the front piece for this sweater. And yeah, like I said, there's not a whole lot missing. If I put them on top of each other, I want to know now, how much do I still have to do? Not that much. So this is like sitting here next to me, and I work on it when I'm downstairs and I want to knit. Now the last thing that I have on the needles now is in this project bag from Bird Leg Bags. And it is the Jones cardigan by Tin Can Knits. I've knit that one before for my kid. I'm going to show you this picture, right? It's a cardigan with moss stitch and cables. I knit it before when he was like tiny. And I'm knitting it again now. And for this one, I am using yarn from Kunterbunte Wolle. And this is like a DK weight. It is 6-ply sock yarn, and they were 150 gram skeins. So I have 300 grams. And what I did is I estimated how much yarn that is. And then I went for the largest size I could knit according to pattern, which coincidentally ended up being the size 8-10-year-old, which is kind of perfect. Now, this is the whole thing, all the way around. You knit it in one piece. I am alternating skeins. Before you tell me that I should be doing that, I am doing that. I am alternating skeins every 2 rows. But it still looks like this, which I'm fine with. I think it looks like tiger stripes in a way, you know? So, the thing is, I'm a bit short on yarn, right? It's the story of my life. But I just decided to go with a tweed, a neutral, naturally white tweed for all of the ribbing. And I'm going to be okay. So, yeah. I picked this back up. I started this at least a year ago. And I'm honestly a bit concerned if that will fit. I'm going to finish it anyways, because what else will I do with this, you know? I'm going to finish it. If it fits, it will go onto my kit. If it doesn't fit, it will go into my shop, and, you know. So that's the last thing I have on my needles right now. And I have to put this away again. So that's the things that I have been knitting and crocheting. And I have one more thing to show, and that is a sewing project. Ta-da! I made a book sleeve. I'm really happy with this book sleeve. So the story behind this is, this part here was a sweater. I online ordered a sweater and it was a disaster. So what I ordered was 100% cotton, really nice, looked like a great quality. And what I got was almost pure plastic. The color was completely different and the shape was non-existent. So yeah, I debated sending it back, but that would have cost me more than the sweater was worth. So I decided to just do something with it. And it had 9 different ghosts with books on it. So I still have 8 of those motifs left that I can use for something. And I decided to make a book sleeve. Now, the other part of this book sleeve is denim. And this was a pair of shorts that belonged to my husband until, you know, it broke in the crotch area, which is where pants usually break for everyone. So I cut that up and was able to make a book sleeve. On the inside, I have this yellow fabric because it was lying around. And I like this here is machine applique. And this is freehand machine embroidery. And I just did, you know, every letter. I did all the lines like 5 or 6 times. So it really would show up. And then I added the little dangly spider. I hate spiders, but I felt like it would, you know, give the book sleeve that little... So yeah, this is the book sleeve that I made. I'm really happy with it. Like I said, have 8 more panels. I don't know if I will make 8 more book sleeves or if I will make a project bag or whatever, but that's what I made. I'm really happy with it. I do not have a lot of other things to talk about. I have, what do I have? Reading, listening, watching. I'm still not reading. I am not listening to any audiobooks. I have started watching things again, but I'm going to talk about that in the end for mental health talk. New stuff. I don't really have anything to show. Showed you all of the crafting, which I think leads into everything else, and that leads into mental health talk. So if you're not here for that, goodbye. Everyone else, how are you doing? Like, really, are you okay? 2023 has been a shit year for me. And I realized that because I have not read, you know, like really read since March. I read like 2 or 3 novels since March in 8 months. I usually read 6 novels in 1 month. So that is one indicator that I didn't have a very good year. And I also realized that I haven't watched a series or movie since May. Until this week, last week. It's Monday today, so until last week. Last week I started watching things again. And I was super excited about it, and I still am super excited about it. So my husband and I watched Taxi Driver, which is a Korean action show series. And I, by myself, started watching She Would Never Know, which is another Korean drama. But this one's romance. And I started watching that last night, and I watched 1 episode. Which doesn't sound like a lot, you know, but if you have been unable to watch stuff for, what, half a year? It's a lot. You know, it's a big step. It's an indicator that things are looking up. At least it is to me. So, yeah, 2023 sucked. 2 more months to go. keep our fingers crossed that they will be good. And yeah, I'm not going to get more into it. Just was not the best of years, but I'm very hopeful. I feel like I am a lot better right now, and that's a good thing. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. When it comes to the other thing that I usually talk about in everything else, it's the VKN. And I had a bit of a problem with my VKNs lately because of my Zoom. Zoom and I did not cooperate for the last few weeks, but I think I have found out what the problem is, which means that I can now fix it, which hopefully means that I can do a VKN on this weekend, but I do not know yet. I'm gonna try. So yeah, that brings me to the end of the podcast. I hope you all had a wonderful life. What? Wonderful crafting life. That's what I wanted to say. I hope you all had a wonderful time doing what you enjoy doing. That's what I meant. And I'm going to talk to you hopefully soon with more new things. And keep your eyes out. Keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes peeled. I will publish a new pattern this afternoon, later today in a few hours, for the slippers. And I hope you like it. So I'm going to go now. I hope you all had a wonderful time today, and I will see you soon. Bye.